Hey everyone, welcome to the Depot. My name is Brad and welcome back to another build video. And this time, as if you remember, if you watched my Thornton Fields build, then I did mention that I was going to be doing this next just because I've done a lot of house builds, so I wanted to kind of switch it up and go back to an apartment build, of which I've only done one, so I'm not going to act like it's a regular occurrence on my channel, considering, like I said, I've only done one. So this is my second one, and it is 1310 21 Chic Street. And please do not expect me to say that again throughout this whole video, just because that's a mouthful. And I'm not really sure which one is the actual, number of the apartment, because there's two in this build. So I'm assuming it's the 1310 part, because 21 seems like the building number. So yeah, anyway. This is more of a refurbishment as opposed to like a complete rebuild of the apartment, because I don't know what it is with the San Myshuno apartments. Obviously the penthouses are different, but with the apartments I personally enjoy kind of just keeping the walls where they are, because it lets me, or not lets me, but it kind of makes me experiment a bit more and put things in areas and positions that I wouldn't normally choose if I had like a little bit more space or designed it myself. So sometimes I find that like little bit of personal challenge a bit more fun. So yeah, and then obviously we have the kitchen by here. I'm obviously keeping it where it was because I think it worked very well, as opposed to changing this into a lounge and having like some half-ish kitchen where the living room was, which wouldn't really work because it's a tiny area. But yeah, obviously you can see I have chosen a green and a white because obviously, like I mentioned, the majority of the colors through this apartment are green and white. So yeah, and I chose the modern, the base game modern kitchen. Why did my brain just freeze? Just because I liked the green that it came in, and it was the most matching of all the kitchens in terms of the doors, I feel. So yes, and then obviously just cluttering up the worktops by here, because when I originally did build this apartment, it was for a playthrough of The Sims that I haven't recorded, but it was like an artist and a writer. So, and when I did the kitchen then, I didn't have the packs that I do now. So obviously all this clutter stuff is brand new for this apartment. So I'm kind of excited about it because it made it look a lot nicer than it did in that playthrough. It was not lived in before, whereas now it really, really is. And then obviously by here, this is me fussing with the dish rack, because I don't know what it is with The Sims 4, but sometimes, well, not sometimes, most of the time, let's be honest, the I don't know what you call them, like the plot points of where clutter items like jump to on counters is just nowhere near the sink. So it's the same when you try and put soap next to a sink, it just doesn't really do it sometimes. So obviously I had to fiddle around a little bit by here just to make it look properly lived in, because obviously by here I wanted the dish towel like in the corner, not dish towel, kitchen roll. Well, we call it kitchen roll, I'm not sure what everyone else calls it, like kitchen towels. So yeah, and then finished product, I just think it looks a lot more lived in and a lot more real, as opposed to where they want you to put the clutter items, because let's face it, a lot of the time it's just like they're too spread apart. They'd obviously be closer together if it was real life. So yeah, obviously keeping the dining table where it was, because I actually did like it where it was, and it also saves a lot of space. So yeah, and then putting in the sofa by here. I'm not too happy with this sofa specifically, but it was the only one that matched. I mean, there is the modern low back one that came with the base game, but that's more of like a pastel green as opposed to like a lime green, so it just didn't work. So I landed on that one, I guess. And then the bin in the corner, and I just want to take a moment to just say that I do use those blinds a lot throughout this build, because they just came in the colors that matched all of the rooms perfectly. The green matches everything perfectly, so yeah. Plus I also like how they open, like half the windows open, so basically it kind of, you use your imagination, you can imagine that if the Sims wanted to close the windows they could, and it would just drag across, really modern and tucked away, but it's kind of just stuck there right now. So yeah, and then this rug by here I know is not really matching, but for some reason when I put it in, I just really, really liked it, and it was the perfect size. It showed the floor a little bit on either side, because sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, I really hate it when rugs take up the entire room because you can't actually see the floor, and sometimes you need to appreciate the colors that you've put into a room. Otherwise they don't work properly, because a lot of the rugs in The Sims 4, not knocking it, but a lot of them just do not match, and I've never used them because they're the wrong shape, or when you size them up they just go massive and you're like, I only wanted a little bit bigger, but okay. So yeah, and then this by here is a musician's corner. by the way, as I said that, I just kind of realized that it's not really going to work if your sim is not a musician, but it's just a cute little corner. And if you could imagine that those pictures were musicians from San Myshuno, it's like, I don't know, just like a fan of all of them wants to pursue a career in music, then this is the apartment for them. But yeah, is there a music career? Yeah, there is. Is there? I've never done it, so maybe I'll do that soon. Anyway, yeah. Moving on to the master bedroom and the only bedroom, because I actually turned the second bedroom in this apartment into like a study, because if you remember when I was talking about the kitchen, I said that in my previous playthrough, I put an artist and a writer in here, so that was just where he would write and then she would paint in here in the corner, because I do actually put an easel in here. But the main colours in here are browns as opposed to greens, and a few bronze items like lights and... well, lights, yeah, realistically, that's all there really is, that are gold and like a bronze colour. Like that one, I put candles on one of the bedsides, and then over here I put the wardrobe, just because it was kind of like the perfect little nook for it, and I really, really like how this wardrobe just gets tucked away in the corner, because it doesn't take up too much space either, as well as being the correct colour. Like, I know it's not, if you really want to nitpick, it's not the perfect brown, but it matches, as far as I'm concerned, and I think we all can agree that with The Sims 4, we've all just got to, like, give each other like a little bit of a leeway when it comes to doing interiors, because not everything matches, even if they are the same item from a pack and they're meant to be used as a set. Sometimes they just look a bit off and you're like, okay, I guess that's fine. But yeah, also feel free to delete the blinds if you do want the windows to be completely open all the time. It's just, it kind of freaked me out because I was like, it's a bedroom, so surely people would want to close. But then again, I've never lived in like a city with like high rises and stuff, so I'm not really sure how that would work. So, like I said, feel free to delete. And then over here, 3 mirrors, just because I wanted something on this wall, but I didn't necessarily like any of the pictures. So I landed on mirrors, and obviously I think sometimes, well, in most of my builds, I like to include a mirror in the majority of the bedrooms, because most people need to look at themselves before they leave the house. Because even though you think, I love this outfit, I've got it planned in my head, sometimes you put it on and you look horrible, so yeah. And then just put in a little... my favorite rug, let's be honest. I use it so... I don't think I've done a build video where I haven't used this rug in any shape or form. I mean, sometimes I use it as like a bath rug, sometimes when it's the smallest version, but I just really like it. So moving on now to the study, which follows the green aesthetic, I guess, throughout the apartment in here as well. So a little nook there for the desk, because if I recall, I think originally, like, when you come into this apartment built by EA, does it have a study by here? Maybe I'm making that up just to like make my layout seem better. I don't know, but anyway. So obviously kept it by the window because I don't know, maybe if you like want inspiration, you can just look outside or whatever. I'm not a writer, so I don't really know. I'm just kind of trying to explain why I did this as a study, but the only reason is because I had a writer. Using this light by here, I know it's not necessarily perfect for by here, but at the same time it just lit the corner up, and I don't know, I like it. I really don't know why. Just I don't get to use it that much because it is such a big light and it only goes in certain places with certain aesthetics and stuff, so it was just nice to use it for once. And then the bog standard light, which actually matched. Like usually I never find that whenever I have that in a house it never matches, so it was quite nice. But it is a bit of a dark room, just a heads up, so if you want to put a light in, feel free, but I just didn't like how they were hanging. All of them were just like hanging from the ceiling, and I was like, it just looks like it's going to get in the way, and I couldn't put any wall lights up, so it's a bit of a dark room, like I said, so please forgive me. But I tried to light it up with like subtle hints, like that little plumb bob light there. I don't actually know what that one does. I don't know if it's relevant to writing or whatever, but I just like the it was white, so I was like, that seems like that would be the brightest one. So yeah, basically. So yeah, that's pretty much the study finished. So we're going to move on to the bathroom now, which there's not much to talk about it, because obviously if you watch any of my videos, you'll know that I'm not the best when it comes to bathrooms. I only have so many ideas for them in my head, and I kind of mix match all of them together across my videos with a few subtle differences here and there. So if you've seen the majority of my videos and the bathrooms that I've done, you'll kind of guess where I'm going with this, just like the stone kind of look, with a cream and all that. But I do change the layout of the bathroom just a little bit from what it originally was. So yes, but unfortunately guys, we are coming to the end of the video. So I just want to take, I know, really short video, surprisingly, but it is a small apartment. So I just want to take this moment to say a massive, massive thank you to anyone who's watched the video. I really, really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed, maybe possibly like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. I would be very, very grateful for it. I have 20 subscribers now, which obviously I'm like super chuffed about because kind of did not expect that. So yeah, also if you would like to download the apartment, it will be on the gallery under my name, the Sim Depot. So yeah, until next time guys, goodbye.